So during his hearing today, Michael Cohen had a strong warning for people like Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows, who are continuing to defend President Trump. During his testimony, when confronted by Jim Jordan, he said this. Watch.
There are several factors. Helsinki, Charlottesville, watching the daily destruction of our civility to one another, putting up silly things like this.
Oh, that's silly.
Really unbecoming of Congress. It's that sort of behavior that I'm responsible for. I'm responsible for your silliness because I did the same thing that you're doing now for 10 years. I protected Mr. Trump for 10 years. And the fact that you pull up a news article that has no value to it, and you want to use that as the premise for discrediting me, that I'm not the person that people called at 3 o'clock in the morning, would make you inaccurate. In actuality, would make you a liar, which puts you into the same position that I am in. And I can only warn people, the more people that follow Mr. Trump, as I did blindly, are going to suffer the same consequences that I'm suffering.
Okay, so that right there is pretty powerful, right? He's got a warning. Like, you guys are doing the same thing that I used to do. Wake up. Wake up, man. You are doing exactly, I've been down this road before, and guess what? It leads to nothing but ruin. He also followed that up by saying, I had a wonderful life. I have a beautiful wife. I have 2 amazing children, and I achieved financial success by the age of 39. I didn't go to work for Mr. Trump because I had to. I went to work for him because I wanted to, and I've lost it all. So if that in and of itself isn't enough to dissuade somebody from acting in the callous manner that I did, I'm not sure that any person has any chance, very much like I'm in right now. That's powerful, man. Again, it is very clear that these Republicans, Jordan and Meadows, are doing exactly what Cohen used to do. Defend Trump at all costs. Because Donald Trump demands loyalty, right? This is why all the questioning on Cohen from Republicans is about discrediting his testimony. That's what he used to do. Muddy the waters. Make it that anybody making allegations and claims against Trump are deemed untrustworthy, considered untrustworthy, because of how damaging their testimony actually will be to President Trump. They're not even pretending, right? They're not even pretending to not be doing that. The whole purpose of this hearing was not to talk about Michael Cohen's character. It's to talk about what Michael Cohen knows about Donald Trump and the Trump organization and how it runs. Unfortunately, the Republicans were only interested in one thing, a political spectacle, derailing this and muddying the waters. It's the same thing Cohen did on behalf of Trump. I don't know what it is that makes people vociferously defend him. I don't understand. Because all I've seen is that the loyalty that these people give to President Trump later on is betrayed in the end. I just don't understand. And that's why this next part is important. I want to read that, right? He said, when Mr. Trump turned around early in the campaign and said, I can shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and get away with it, I want to be very clear. He's not joking. He's telling you the truth. You don't know him. I do. I've sat next to that man for 10 years, and I watched his back. Everybody's job at the Trump organization was to protect Mr. Trump. Every day, most of us knew we were coming in, and we were going to lie for him on something. And that became the norm. And that's exactly what's happening right now in this country. It's exactly what's happening here in government. He took what he did in business, and he is doing it in government. And everything that we've seen from the White House, the leaks, the ex-staffers talking to reporters, shows that that is that situation. That everyone around him lies. Now, the thing about Cohen is that Cohen, he even admitted in that testimony that Trump used a certain code. And I understood that code. I knew exactly what he wanted me to do and how he wanted me to do it. That sounds a lot like what mob bosses would do. And people that worked with organized crime. Hey, I knew exactly what he meant when he said this particular thing. I knew exactly what he wanted me to do. It's stuff that you hear in Capone meetings, right? Or in the Capone hearings. So, look, man, lying, threatening, using his own money to pay off women that he's had sex with, he lied, he cheated, it stole. And this is just Cohen, right? He's going to prison for it. This is all while he, and he actually did a lot of this stuff. A lot of his crimes were on behalf of Donald Trump. And here you still have Trump sitting in the highest office in the land. Now, it's got to burn the guy up, right? But again, during that testimony, you could tell, you get the sense that he has nothing more to lose. And that's why he's being honest. He's already lost everything for Trump. Imagine devoting your life to protecting someone like that. Someone who is a pathological liar, who has no loyalty to you, and yet expects 100% loyalty from you. Now, of course, the interesting part about this whole hearing has been how Republicans, their strategy was to point out how horrible and untrustworthy Cohen is. But that, of course, makes you wonder, if Cohen is so bad, why did Trump keep him by his side for 10 years? Well, it's because of two things, right? One, Donald Trump saw in him some of the qualities that Republicans are pointing out today. That he has no qualms with lying, with threatening people, and doing shady business. That's not a bug, it's the feature. And in Michael Cohen, I think Donald Trump found parts of himself. The ability to lie shamelessly, criminally, in order to win. And that's the thing that he cares about the most. And of course, the second thing is loyalty, which up until the FBI raided his office and took away that wonderful life that he had, that loyalty was absolute. And if you remain loyal to this person, someone like that, who has this mantra of win at all costs, then I think in the service of that, and we saw that with Representative Matt Gaetz, who is now under investigation by the Florida Bar Association for tweeting out threats to Michael Cohen on behalf of Donald Trump. Now, it's not I'm saying that Donald Trump directed him to do that. No, I don't think that at all. But these people get it in their head. They're such sycophants towards the president that they go, you know what? Yes, I am going to do that because I think it's a good thing to do so I can protect the president, so I can protect Donald Trump. That's the stuff he makes you do. He gets you to do and gets you to believe that you're doing it because you want to do it. That's the lesson of Michael Cohen. You will do these things, and he is warning you. And unfortunately for these pro-Trump Republicans, they're not going to heed that advice until it's too late. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.